All right, we're going to move on.
Community.
So I feel like Microsoft made some sort of weird surprise appearance here, even though they have their own showcase that's 90 minutes long. Talking about the future of Xbox and Game Pass and cloud streaming and stuff. Satya Nadella came on with Phil Spencer and talked about how dedicated Microsoft was to gaming, and kind of talked about moving away. It kind of said that they were kind of moving away from hardware, and obviously they're working with TV manufacturers to get the Game Pass app onto TVs, where all you need is a controller and Game Pass subscription, and you can stream games to your smart TV, which I think is really smart. Obviously, we're getting it on, we have it on phones and iOS browser-based stuff, which is not great at recognizing controllers at this point, at least for me. So I don't know. I thought that Xbox showing up was a nice surprise, and Josh, we talk about this often of how Xbox is kind of changing the way we think about games, and the cloud stuff is really interesting to have and as an option for players who aren't right next to their box. But they're really moving more towards ecosystem expansion and focusing less on hardware.
I mean, yeah, I've been beating this drum for about 5 or 6 years now, ever since we first started getting the rumblings of xCloud's, very, very, very early primitive form. Back at, I think it was Gamescom 2015, they had Halo 4 running on a phone, because IGN, I remember, was talking about, and they were talking about how like cloud tech was going to be helping them with Crackdown's, at that point, that iteration of Crackdown with its scaling and its destructible environments and things like that. And I was fascinated by that, but this is the next logical expansion. We all knew they were going to come to smart TVs. Phil Spencer's made no secret about that, but I think getting Satya Nadella out here was a huge deal. I mean, in that awesome Halo hoodie, nonetheless.
I know, dude. That Halo hoodie was so cool.
I'm waiting for that hoodie to go on sale. I want it.
I think it was a big deal because Phil Spencer really had to convince him that Xbox was worth saving, right? Like when he
did, and then Nadella was convinced, and you'll never get me to stop believing this, that when he was pitched the idea of cloud gaming is likely what saved the Xbox brand being a part of Microsoft. But they want to bring it to smart TVs. It's going to come to LG and Samsung first. Those are their official partners worldwide. I've had the exact opposite experience of you with xCloud. Like, I've had a great experience in the browser. I play Destiny on it. It is a little rough with things being at 30 frames right now. But the other thing they confirmed during all this is the server blades are almost done being upgraded from Xbox One to Series X. So you're going to see improvements drastically in terms of performance.
Before you move on, Josh, my browser stuff I'm talking about is through my phone. It works on my laptop fine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What browser are you using in particular?
I tried Safari and I tried Chrome.
I've had no problems with Safari, believe it or not.
I can't even get it to load in Safari.
That's crazy. It might. I don't know if it's your connection or what.
I tried it on LTE. I tried it on my connection. I tried it on other Wi-Fi. It just.
I play it on 2 bars of Wi-Fi, and it's just been a smooth experience for me. Like, outside of a couple of hiccups when it first came to browsers, it's been smooth sailing for me.
Maybe I'll give it another shot. It's been a.
I would say wait for it to get out of beta. It's about to leave beta.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they'll announce a proper launch date at E3, and then beyond that, I mean, they confirmed hardware is still the future. They're still going to keep making Xbox hardware. They're working on the next iteration of it right now, which I suspect is just a much more compact Series X. You and I have both been pretty open in our belief that the Series S is a bridge console. That it's there for right now, but eventually they want the Series X to be that sized. As components become cheaper, and obviously, semiconductor shortages are going to lead to this generation being prolonged beyond what we expected it. But I'm really excited about the future. They said, they're still looking at acquisitions, which I'm going to tell you, like, Microsoft's got to cool it on that. I think it was fine when you were getting a bunch of studios that were in danger of going under or going out, or that people had never heard of. I mean, when In Exile and Undead Labs got acquired, people were like, okay, like, well, who gives a shit? But then you see them pick up a Double Fine, an Obsidian, a Ninja Theory. Like, I don't think everybody understands like how much the studios they've acquired outside of the Bethesda purchase really were struggling financially.
Yeah.
Double Fine was crowdfunding from multiple sources for Psychonauts 2.
Yeah.
Ninja Theory has never made a profitable game, apparently. Like, until Hellblade, they had never made a profitable game.
Yeah.
Even that, like, they invested so much into that game, and it's because they had such a small team that it was even able to be profitable. Obsidian, same thing. Pillar's of Eternity, things like that. Then you have Bethesda. Bethesda's obviously the big name one. They added like 6-7 studios with that, even more teams. You got to kind of cool with that talk, though, I think. Like, I understand why you're making those. Like, you want to stay competitive. Like, you're finally at the level of talent and pedigree to compete with those Sony and Nintendo first-party studios.
I mean, it's not even just that. It's managing all these studios. How do you manage all these studios, you know?
So, and that's the thing is, from my understanding, Pete Hines is overseeing everything from ZeniMax, and Matt Booty is continuing to oversee everything that was already existing as part of the company.
Right.
I suspect that if they acquire anything else, Sarah Bond will take over that.
Yeah. That
she will oversee anything else that they might have. She's their third party liaison kind of right now, doing a lot of Game Pass. Like, without her, Game Pass is not a thing.
Right.
So she's one of the most powerful women in gaming. Like, I fully expect her to take on a much more visible role at Microsoft going forward. There's a reason why she is featured in so much these days.
Yeah.
With them. So nothing but good news over there, though. I mean, the tech stuff is real interesting. I find their whole approach to this, not just Game Pass, but cloud gaming in general, to be really fascinating, because it feels like they're about 2, maybe 3 years early based on how American ISPs operate. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest obstacle to this. Like, it may come to smart TVs, but you got to think, like, the people who have smart TVs are probably the ones who already have an Xbox or who will buy one in the future.
Dude, the apps on the smart TV don't even load properly.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
You know what? I said this back on an episode of Arsenal X when we were all on there. You, me, and Corey, Josh. Mm-hmm. That Microsoft does one thing very well. Like, they make sure that tech changes the entire infrastructure. Yep. We thought they were freaking insane when they were like, "Oh, the Xbox 360 is going to be always online, and you have to have a good internet connection." Shit, they basically kickstarted broadband for the United States.
They not only kickstarted that, but I mean, like, look at your Xbox or your PlayStation now. How often do you really disconnect it from the internet?
I don't. Shit, the damn thing.
You don't, because you can't really play your digital games offline.
Oh, well, I was going to say all that. I was going to say my damn PS5 woke me up last night because it was preloading something. I just realized it just installed the updates to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. It's one of those things, like, so, you know, one of the things that I've always tried to drill home is that they're a software company first and foremost. There's a reason why Windows has just completely dwarfed Mac OS. Right? And it's because it's easy to use, it's accessible. Like, I'm a Mac guy, but there's no denying, like, Windows is just dominance in that area. There's a reason why we use Office for damn near everything. Like, Outlook is used by so many companies. Like, Microsoft has a way of setting that standard. Now, the problem is you become complacent like that. And I think that Microsoft as a company has, like, really started to, like, kind of turn that corner the last couple of years under Nadella's leadership. Under Ballmer, they really didn't take those chances anymore. But he's kind of getting back to that original Gates philosophy. And I think that trickles down, like, into the gaming division. Like, gaming makes up such a small portion of Microsoft's revenue, but it's still enough that they're willing to invest billions upon billions into this to make it work. Like, if the Bethesda deal fails, which I don't see how it does at this point, but, like, if Series X, they've already said, like, they don't care about being number one. If they're not at least competitive this time, though, you got to think they have one more console cycle on them before the owner, or before Nadella or whoever comes after him as CEO finally goes, we got to sell you guys off. Y'all are an albatross. Like, maybe it's we need new leadership. Like, we are now in the phase of all right, Phil has been installed for enough years, enough of his projects are coming to fruition between Game Pass, xCloud, the studio acquisitions. It's time to show us, were you really being an effective leader behind the scenes or not? It's great that you're a figurehead for the industry. It's great that you're being, not a Miyamoto because you're not a creative guy, but you're kind of taking that the Reggie role or the Sean Layden role. Like, Xbox finally has a guy like that. They haven't had one since Peter Moore. Mm-hmm. You finally have someone who's the face of your company. And he's a damn good face. He's great for the industry and this and that. But are you being an effective leader at Microsoft? And I think that's what the next 12 months are really going to tell us. This blog post and this video were a really good intro to that. They had a whole hour-long thing that was released to journalists that is confidential, that we have not been able to see. The speculation is there's a lot of stuff in there that will be addressed at E3 or in the coming weeks. I can't wait to see what it is. Like, I'm so optimistic and so excited for all three of the big consoles right now. Like, Xbox has finally put all its pieces on the table. Mm-hmm. Now we see if they can actually execute.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited for. I mean, this is the most excited I've been for Xbox ever, I think.
It's reaching a fever pitch. Like, we've gone so many years without quality exclusives. I mean, the last Ori and the Will of Wisps, obviously great. Gears Tactics, great. But when's the last time we had a major AAA exclusive?
I mean, Gears 5, I guess.
Gears 5, almost 2 years ago.
Crackdown 3.
Oh, God. Now you've got, you've got Halo, you've got Forza, you got Psychonauts. You got those coming out this year, and those are being made by your internal teams. And then, I mean, looking ahead, Starfield, Avowed, like all these, like, all right, you're trying to clearly make it that we know that you are trying to be the home for multiplayer gaming and Western RPGs. That's what you made your name on in the Xbox and in the 360 eras. And you got away from it this last time. Bring it back home. Like, bring it back to what you've been good at for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we'll see in about 48 hours if they actually do it or not.
Yeah. God, 48 hours. This is good. Dude.
If we don't all die before then.
Dude, I'm so excited and terrified of Sunday night, how long this good conversation's going to be, Josh.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm excited.
It is. Well, we talked a lot. Anybody else have anything else to say about Xbox and moving away from consoles and streaming? And I don't know.
Xbox. The only way the Bethesda deal fails is if Elder Scrolls 6 bombs.
Well, do I have news for you, buddy? Is one of the most profitable cash cows in all of video game history going to fail?
Yeah. Hey, now, if Elder Scrolls 6 fails, they'll just re-release Skyrim and everybody will be happy.
Well, that was actually
so tired of that meme. You can tell Todd Howard is too.
Josh, getting a remastered version of Skyrim for PS5 and Xbox Series X?
Series X, no, because we already have the auto HDR and the 60 frames upgrade for the console baked in. Mm-hmm. I would not be shocked to see them announce one for PS5, but I think they would go the path of it'll be a free upgrade. Or, hey, we have it on sale so much, like, here, $20, like $20 if you don't already own it somehow, or we'll throw it to the PS Plus collection or whatever. Like, you gotta think Microsoft wants to, like, extract another 1 million or 2 copies. Like, it sold 35 million copies. What's another 1 or 2 at this point?
Right.
Like, death taxes Skyrim. 3 inevitabilities in life.
Well, if we know anything about gaming culture, like, gamers eat this shit up. They like a AAA of the AAA titles like gets re-released, like they're gonna buy it. I mean, hell,
look at Mass Effect.
I was about to say, look at all of us who flocked and bought Mass Effect. Look at all of us.
I mean, not even that. Like, look at all of us who beat Skyrim on the 360 or the PS3, and then the second they announced the Xbox One and PS4 versions, we ran and bought it. They announced the Switch version. I ran and bought it. They got me with 3 cosmetic items. I bought the whole game again. Because
that's a little too much. That's a little too much.
And the sword. God, I'm as bad as LeRon with Monster Hunter.
Right?
It's embarrassing at a certain point.
I'm foaming at the mouth right now, hearing more and more of these rumors about Dead Space Trilogy fucking remaster coming. I'm starting to drink that Kool-Aid.
Wow.
Let me have it.
Okay, that's new to me.
Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, I didn't know that until 2 days ago.
Yeah, there's been a rumor stirring up that Dead Space is going to be the next trilogy that's remastered from EA. It's a rumor. I don't know I don't know if that just spurred out of like, oh, Mass Effect is such a huge hit, and Dead Space is also a trilogy, so let's remaster it. You know what I mean?
Well, I gotta find it, but it was a Twitter thread that was started from like two gaming insiders, and like two credible ones.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the same insider has been talking about the Switch Pro for like 7 years.
Oh my gosh, if that Switch Pro doesn't happen this year, it's not happening. That's all I gotta say.
The only reason I believe the latest one was because Takashi over at Bloomberg published it. Mm-hmm. And when he publishes something, I tend to pay attention, especially when it comes to like hardware. He seems to be the only person who actually knows what's going on with hardware, and he very specifically stayed away from promising a date. Just it's gonna happen in the next couple of weeks.
Who said Nintendo was going to pre-announce like their like the Switch Pro before E3 started? Because
Emily Rogers said it. There were a few other people. A lot of YouTubers really jumped on that.
Yeah,
because y'all's asses were wrong.
Yeah, no. Takashi, he published his after all that was like, yeah, no, it's not. It may happen before E3. He was like, he literally said, I wouldn't be surprised, but I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah,
I personally still think it's getting announced, but there's no way they were showing that without Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you. They won't show it until after E3 is over.
We'll see. We'll see on Tuesday.
They won't.
I feel like they might. If they were going to do it, I wonder if they would do it on Monday night. Just drop a trailer for it.
Nintendo is just so fucking weird with how they do things. They literally they revealed the Switch at midnight.
It's true.
It's entirely possible to go, oh, well, it's Tuesday in Japan. Let's announce it.
It's funny. It's funny they dropped the reveal for the Switch on midnight when they can't even get like pre-release games ready to go at midnight or at 12:01 a.m.
All I'm gonna say is I'm glad they did it at midnight. That was before we expected these things because I got my pre-order in so easily.
I know. God,
as opposed to announcing pre-orders are going live at 11 a.m.
And then they're sold out like
the whole
12 seconds later.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, dude, I was so scared I wasn't gonna get the Switch pre-order. I was like, man, I've never seen Logan so bored in my life as we're talking about the Switch. Look at him.
My defense, I did just finish an article and wrote some other stuff. So,
oh my god!
Look at this guy being productive during the show.
This guy's not taking his podcasting duties seriously.
I know. That's why we let him talk about baseball and I don't know.
I'm totally taking it seriously. It's just not anything that I'm an expert on or can really talk about.
You wrote a whole freaking article. I was trying to figure out what I'm doing on my date tomorrow.
God.
I said a bang, bang, bang.
Okay. The last game,
I do my part. I add my part to the show. Okay, I'm here for comic relief.
How I Met Your Mother Q list. Check it out.
It's a thing.
You set me up for
check it out.
The plug.
All right.